You're watching TimesXP. I'm Driti Atri, and here are the biggest stories making headlines across the globe today. So, let's start with it. Mediterranean flotilla drama, the Meccano, part of the global Sumut flotilla, has broken through Israel's naval blockade and entered Gaza waters. Well, activists on board say that their mission is to deliver aid and make a symbolic stand against the blockade. Now, this daring move comes amid heightened tensions in the region. Bold move at sea. Well, despite the constant Israeli patrols, the Meccano reached dangerously close to Gaza's coast, being hailed as historic breakthrough by activists. In the meantime, security forces attempted to halt the ship, but the crew navigated through the tight patrols. Supporters call it a message of resistance and hope. Massive humanitarian convoys, well, dozens of boats carrying humanitarian aid and activists continue pushing towards Gaza. Volunteers say that their goal is to highlight the severe shortages faced by the civilians. Well, the convoy includes people from multiple countries uniting under a single humanitarian mission. Israel's interception. Well, Israel reportedly intercepted 21 missiles, but Meccano slipped past, symbolizing defiance. Authorities warn of potential security risk and accuse the flotilla of political motives. In the meantime, tensions rise as international activists clash with naval forces. Global attention. The flotilla draws international attention to Gaza's shortages of medicine, food, and basic supplies. NGOs are calling for urgent humanitarian aid and global solidarity. In fact, social media campaigns are amplifying the activists' message worldwide. Growing diplomatic tension, Israel promises to enforce its blockade while international groups call for solidarity mission. Diplomatic channels are being tested as governments weigh their responses. In the meantime, experts say that this standoff could have long-term implications for regional politics. Flotilla celebration. Well, activists and humanitarian groups in Europe and Middle East too celebrate this daring journey. Crowds chant slogans and wave flags in support of Gaza. The act is being compared to historical resistance movement at the sea. Pressure on Israel. Experts say that this particular mission could encourage more flotillas and increase global pressure on Israel. Critics argue that the blockade harms the civilians, while supporters emphasize the security needs. Well, the incident reignites debate over international laws and human rights. Russia-Pakistan defense deal that betrays India. Yes, you heard that right. Russia will supply RD-93MA jet engines to Pakistan for JF-17 Thunder Block 3rd fighter jets. Now here, officials say that this strengthens Pakistan's air capabilities significantly. The deal highlights growing defense cooperation between Moscow and Islamabad. Enhance aircraft capability here, while the engines improve thrust, fuel efficiency and operational performance for Pakistan's jet. Military analysis warn that this could shift regional aerial dynamics. Pilots will reportedly undergo specialized training just to optimize the new engine. JF-17 Block 3 upgrades equipped with AESA radar, electronics warfare system and long-range missiles, enhancing air combat capabilities. These jets can now perform precision strikes, and that too at longer distances. Experts say that this narrows the technological gap with neighboring Air Force of India. Regional security shift. While India faces new challenges as Pakistan's Air Force strengthens technologically. In the meantime, strategic planners may need to rethink air defense deployments here. Diplomatic talks could also intensify just to manage emerging tension. Iran sanctions. Turkey freezes assets of Iranian individuals and companies that are linked to nuclear development. Now, this includes banks, research centers, and energy firms. Here, officials say that it is part of a broader effort to curb Iran's nuclear ambitions. US sanctions. 21 companies, 17 individuals, all accused of weapons procurement for Iran, face American sanctions. Now, this targets entities in Iran, China, Germany, and even Hong Kong. Treasury officials emphasize the sanction aim to limit Iran's military reach in the Middle East. UN snapback mechanism, well, the United Nations reinstates previous sanctions over Iran's nuclear violation. This move restores restrictions that have been erased under the 2015 deal. Analysts say that this is part of a stronger signal yet against Iran's nuclear program. Tehran under a lot of pressure right now, while sanctions target banks, shipping firms and research centers, challenging Iran's nuclear ambitions. Officials warn Tehran's military performance and programs that could slow down. Diplomats are now monitoring Tehran's every single move very closely. Russia's annexation move. Putin declares 4 districts as Russian territories, while he also praised local population for supposedly choosing to join Russia than Ukraine. International leaders warn that this violates Ukrainian sovereignty and global law. Global condemnation here, while most countries and Ukraine refuse to recognize the annexation, citing violation of international law. Western sanctions could intensify as tensions escalate. Even observers fear that this could spark further conflict in Eastern Europe. Military tension rise. Western nations warn the move could escalate conflict in the Eastern Europe. In the meantime, Ukraine calls for international support to protect its border. Military analysts say that the troops' deployment they may increase alongside the key front lines. China's supercarrier. Well, satellite images reveal China is building Type 004, a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier capable of carrying 90-plus aircraft. Engineers are reportedly focusing on advanced missions and flight systems as well. Now, this ship could redefine naval power in entire Asia. Advanced technology. Well, carrier will use EMALS catapults, next-generation fighter jets, and ship-borne laser weapons. Can you imagine that? It may include stealth drones for intelligence and surveillance. In the meantime, defense experts call it a major leap in China's naval capability. Indo-Pacific implication, well, the supercarrier challenges the United States' naval dominance in the entire region. Washington's response will be closely watched by allies in the Pacific. Strategic analysts here predict that this could trigger a new naval arms race. Israel-Iran threats. Israel warns that it can strike Iran any time over alleged nuclear threats. Officials cite a major intelligence breakthrough behind these warnings. After that, analysts caution that any miscalculation could actually trigger a full-scale conflict. Iran's war readiness. Tehran deploys warship and missile boats in the Persian Gulf just in response to Israeli threats. Military drills are reportedly increasing along the key waterways. The show of force aims to deter possible Israeli attacks. Proxy warriors here. Well, tensions could spread to Lebanon, Syria, Yemen and Iraq due to regional rivalries. Iran's allies are on high alert amid heightened tensions and threat. Israel may also bolster its regional surveillance and its defenses. Hamas rocket enters Israel. Well, Hamas fires rocket at Tel Aviv for the second time in 24 hours. Iron Dome intercepts most. Will the attack send civilians scrambling to bomb shelters? Well, this marks an ongoing escalation in the Israel-Gaza conflict. Gaza clashes. Ground battles between Israeli troops and Hamas continue, escalating nightly violence over there. In fact, civilian casualties and infrastructural damage increases tensions further. Each side blame each other for the cycle of these attacks. Italian flotilla interception. Well, Israel intercepted 47 boats from the global Sumut flotilla. Activists live streamed the confrontation. In fact, demonstrators in Italy protest against Israel's action. In the meantime, social media videos have shown tense moments between commandos and the volunteers. Diplomatic fallout. Well, Italy condemns Israel's action. European solidarity marches gain a lot of momentum. In fact, politicians demand explanation from Israel over the flotilla's handling. Observers fear that this could trigger a diplomatic standoff. Netanyahu apologized to Qatar. Yes, you heard that right. Israeli Prime Minister apologizes after airstrike killed an Qatari official under pressure from none other than Donald Trump, sparking domestic controversy. Far-right Israeli leaders call the apology weak and humiliating. In the meantime, experts say that the move was strategic to restart hostage negotiations with Hamas. That's all for now. Stay tuned, stay sharp, and come back on TimesXP same time tomorrow for the latest news that matters the most. I'm Driti Atri. See you next time.